in your dark nights of the Russian winter.
Oh dear. Pour me another vodka.
You better have a vodka than listening to me.
Yeah. No, both together is the most advantageous combination, I find.
St. Petersburg. Get more humid now, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's not meant to move so much these days. Stay at home and watch television.
Movies?
Turn your video on and your AC and then stay at home. Watch television. If you can allow your... That's called karma. Get karma. When you're really calm, then you are karma. Watching television. Computer, yeah. But videos on computer is not so different. Huh? Movies on computers is the same.
The same, yeah. I thought you were saying something like it was not as good.
No, you know Nam June Paik?
Who?
Nam June Paik, a Korean artist from the 60s, 70s. He always put Buddha in front of 100 monitors, television sets, and says this Buddha watching television.
Or watch Buddha watching television.
No, Buddha is never part of the program, that's his point. Buddha can only watch his own channels, but he has no remote control. So, but now you are a Buddha who thinks he has a remote control, but you have no battery. You always press buttons now, but sometimes the program changes, but most of the time not. If you're just lucky, you press and it changes. Oh, look, I have control.
Mine changed without pushing button.
It's changing anyway.
It's the press.
It's a random.
It's really unbelievable. Yeah, it just jumps wherever it feels like.
It's called Facebook.
There is no control. I'm not on Facebook. There is no control anywhere.
Whatever comes up. Okay. Yeah, it's hot, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe there comes a storm or something.
They say
Several coming. One after the other.
it's just one storm, but it's...
Well, they might join up.
It's mounting
storm.
Mounting storm. Stormy weather. So, what to do? Then it will rain, so I hope so.
Oh, it should.
Then it's relaxing. This constipated thing is always the worst. Well, everyone is happy when shit happens. Oh, it rains. Like in California, it rained for a long time not, and then it rained so much that it was we were over flooding.
Southern California?
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that on the internet. They said 1,000 years, and in 1,000 years they have not had a flood like that.
Yeah. Before they had never ever a drought like this, and now
Well, the drought's in Northern California. My sister lives there.
no, in South too, Los Angeles.
Is it?
Yeah. But now the rain came.
Not anymore. 1,000 years.
Who was taking the record?
Record keeper.
It's like a chief rainmaker was making like a gun.
Yeah, they have record keepers.
Yeah, the Indians have a big record, like the Indians here. The Akash Chronik. They have the, I always call it a cash chronik. How much does I get for it? So now we can start. Yeah, people come when they like. To get up today.
Yeah.
No fencing, no offense.
Do you object to fans?
What?
Do you object?
No, I took them off here, especially. That no one get in the temptation to turn them
we
on.
could have one, we could have a standing one at the back. They've got one downstairs, I'll go and meet the managers if you like.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, to ask them, then they don't have to make this.
Yeah, okay, but I mean, it's only down there, and I'm sure I could persuade him to bring it up here.
At least it's
I'll ask him nicely.
Something to do. Okay, so then we can start.
Is there avatars?
What?
Avatar?
Yes.
Yes?
In the dream is everything. You are in the dream.
No, but what is avatar?
Krishna is an avatar. Krishna is the archetype of the avatar, the first avatar. Like Adam, the primal man. That's an avatar. And then coming is like a teacher. Avatars is just teachers. Krishna, like a Mahabharata, teaching all of that.
But they are special? They are...
Go on? No, like every school teacher is an avatar. In his, whatever, teaching, mathematics or something, it's all avatars. Just a word for teacher.
They say that they descend.
Yeah, but it's like the primal is Krishna, and then comes 64 or 8, and then it's all spreading out over the whole world. Everyone becomes a teacher. But that's the archetype of an avatar. And there are 64 surrounding permanents in mountain, they say. It's like a cloud surrounding the mountain.
64 avatars?
64 avatars.
What are they called?
They're called avatars.
No special name.
You can go somewhere and Google it or something. You think I now repeat all the 64?
But they even use it now, they use it in Hollywood. They say, here's Mona Lisa, or whatever the name of the movie is, in her new avatar.
Oh yeah, actually, there is this one famous scientist called Tom Campbell. So he has a approach from physics, and so to him, avatar simply means like this body, like in a video game.
Yeah, like an imaginary character. That is Krishna
So he
already.
says if you lose one life in the video game, you just have a second avatar. So he's using it in that way.
Yeah, it's like consciousness is playing all the roles and just taking another character, another information.
So it is the same what they are saying in India and what he is saying?
Yeah, Krishna is the first imagination, like God trying to teach himself.
No, I was confused a little bit about the word.
No, it's if you say avatar, it's just an incarnation of
Right.
consciousness or God or something. And then Krishna is the first information of God. But the information of God is not God. So the information of Brahman is not Brahman.
Also, some scientists say like this soul is nothing but data, and it weighs like 22 grams, and I don't know this kind of thing.
Yeah. They counted it. They weighted the corpse before that and after that, and there was always 22 grams missing. I always said it was that last part there.
Fourth.
No, actually, the parts accumulate after you die. After you die, you should
So
get
bad.
weird then.
No.
Because
Air doesn't count, doesn't weight. Now you're getting confused.
right.
No, it's like you release some last whatever, or the last whatever. Atma breathes in.
Are they
No, they call it
special?
soul, like a life energy is leaving the body, because without that, the body is just merely a corpse, like it was before. So without that life energy, they call soul, which is leaving the body in that moment, and the body just becomes like a piece of
But
meat.
their view of the soul as data, how do you feel about it?
Well, I can say, okay, why not call it a data, like a conditioned energy.
Because they are
A conditioned energy is like an energy full of data, full of information. That's called soul.
Because they are also saying someone can simply override your soul with another program, and you cannot.
And then you become a vegetable or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened in San Francisco. Many, when you go Haight Street, I love Haight Street, there's always like this vegetable you meet from the 60s and 70s. No, they are still walking there, and they're looking at you, they call vegetables.
No, but they are...
No, they're overwritten by LSD. It's like the LSD, the drugs overrode all the genetic design. They're just vegetables. The whole soul is blank now. They look at you with a blank eye. There's no one there anymore. Maybe you can call them even enlightened.
But according to these scientists...
Yeah, scientists are stupid anyway. Don't listen to scientists.
But they are saying if someone is interfering with the frequencies, they can do it as soon as they stop. You have again your soul data coming through you. So
Wow.
it's something they can...
So the aliens putting all the cellular towers here, the mobile towers, and then making all vegetables, and then energy cut is suddenly they all wake up. Oh, what happened? It's called paranoia, I think.
Well, I'm paranoid. Puts you on your toes anyway.
There are more paranoias than para-Brahmans, I see. What is it? Or parachutes or... But paranoia is very common, the most common in the universe, paranoia. Para-Brahman in the idea of two. Para-Brahman in the idea of existence, he becomes total paranoia. He fears himself instantly. That's called paranoia. And now he even fears that his data of his soul gets overwritten. Wow!
The soul can get taken out and put in some other body.
So, anything can happen. It's like Total Recall, they made this transfer.
Timeshare.
Or it's like face of my enemy. It was a nice movie, like they just changed the souls. Yeah, face off. Yeah, and then you find yourself in the body of your enemy. And then he plays your role, but
Anyway, you're in the body of your enemy.
yeah, enemy is your enemy. That's why it's called me. Enemy is your enemy.
So anyway, you're in your enemy.
So you wake up with your one and only enemy any morning. So, but then you want to get rid of your enemy, but you cannot. As much as you fight, you cannot fight that phantom enemy. But you try. You will always fail. It will always be there. So you cannot get rid of that me, this enemy. But it feels like an enemy. It's always stealing something, and always fighting against you, and always interrupting you, and always whatever. Because every morning you get interrupted by that asshole who has to go to the toilet maybe or something. Whatever. So it's natural to get rid of the enemy, but you will fail. As I said yesterday, you will fail anyway. Try harder. And this guy here said the same, you have to be what you are in spite of the presence of the phantom. If you can only be what you are in the absence of the phantom, you are depending on the absence. That makes you another me. That's schizophrenia and paranoia. You cannot get rid of it, so you have to just be what you are with or without it. Who fucking cares then?
But they talk about this notion of the I sense going away. Is that?
Yeah, that's a me.
But you're saying it can never go away.
No, because that's the way you realize yourself. Reality realizing itself as a creator, and that's already a me, the creator me. And then out of the creator me comes creation, what can be created. So already Krishna is a me. Brahman is a me. It's all me. Ram Ram. No, it starts very early. If you don't even sense one, because there's just awareness, but already that is nigh awareness, because who would sense that awareness? It needs already two, a sensor and something what is sensed. It's very subtle. So the sensor is sensing awareness.
So the point of view just keeps shifting. Is that what it is?
Your reference point is just shifting, and you cannot decide from what reference point you experience yourself. But you will always experience yourself from different reference points. And now your reference point is having from this body, from this the third eye, but the perceiver, the absolute seer, is still what it is. The way you realize yourself, the way you sense yourself, the way you whatever, doesn't matter. It won't make you what you sense, or how you sense yourself. So the way how you sense yourself doesn't make you different. So there will always be a different way of sensing yourself and realizing yourself, but that doesn't make you more or less real. So the nature of reality, you can say, is what you are, can never get more or less by the way it's realizing itself. And I agree, this realizing yourself having a body, and from this body point of view, is maybe the worst, the dumbest. But what to do? You will always end up here. So what? But that's why they called Ramana the absolute man, because he didn't mind. The absolute man doesn't mind to experience himself as a man. The heart experiencing himself as a man, so the absolute man. But so what did Jesus or Christ say? I'm the Father and me are not two, but I'm not the Father. The Spirit and me are not two, but I'm not the Spirit. The man and I am not two, but I'm not the man. I am that, what is heart. Experiencing itself as Father, Spirit and Son. But by experiencing yourself as a father, you don't become the father. You are not different from the father, but you are not what you experience. That's all. So what to do? And I can just point all the time to that fact that your nature never changed by all the differences of experiences. In whatever way you experience yourself, in whatever way and you hate it. And you don't have to love it. That's what is the nature of love. Love doesn't have to love itself to be what it is. Even hate is just an expression of love in that. So hating or loving is not, in nature, not different. So there's an unconditional loving and unconditional hating, which comes together. They always come as two. They all come from the unconditioned. The unconditioned himself, which never can be conditioned by all what it can be experienced. The dream can never condition that what is not part of the dream. So there's an extreme of an unconditional love sometimes, of oneness, and an unconditional hate of two-ness, of separation. You hate the separation, you love the oneness. So unconditional love for oneness and unconditional hate for separation. And that's the way you realize yourself. So what to do? So there's sadness and joy, and whatever, happiness and whatever you can imagine, and you cannot miss one aspect of infinite realization. It's as infinite as you are. As absolute as you are, as what you are, you have to realize yourself in absolute possibilities of whatever can be and not be. So the next is just the next. That's why I would say the next sip of coffee is as good as the last sip of tea. Or
it doesn't matter what happens. On the level of the manifestation.
from the absolute point, nothing ever happened. From the relative point of view, yes, everything matters. Yeah, there's two things. In the dream, it all matters. Every little thing. From the absolute, never. So it matters in the dream. I would never deny that. It matters in the dream, how you feel. But for what you are not. So yes and no. It's not like it's nothing about this doesn't matter. No. In the dream, when you wake up, it matters if you can go to the toilet or not. If you cannot for a while, you will. So it matters in the dream, but for what you are not. Even in the dream it matters how you die maybe, or whatever thing, this body. But for your absolute nature, never. See, they have something here to work on. No, and then you cannot even decide what you are. That's basic thing. You are that, what is reality. And the side effect, I would call it, is you realize yourself. It's a side effect, but not your nature. And you cannot get rid of the side effect. Yeah, this disease. This disease. He even called this a disease. Having a body is a disease.
Yeah, Rajin Baba used to call that like a boil
Yeah.
on the body.
I call it dis-ease.
This is,
So your ease experiencing itself in a dis-ease. Knowledge experiencing itself in ignorance. But does it make knowledge less knowledge? No, you have nothing to lose here. I would agree, this all is ignorance. Okay. But does it make you less knowledge? And would the absence of ignorance make you more knowledge? No. So you are with and without this. So maybe as it is. So you can stop now. I always say everything in the first 5 minutes and then yeah, something from no? Not yet. You're from
Russia.
From where?
Russia.
Russia, yeah, but from where in Russia?
Moscow.
Moscow. Yeah, I know your face, I think.
Yes.
Now without translator.
It's good. I don't understand you.
She has the best position right now. No, he doesn't understand what I say at all. But it doesn't matter anyway. So, Sunday morning mess. They're all sitting with Upaha and singing bhajan.
Yes.
Shiva, Shiva. Shampoo. Because Shiva always needs shampoo because he has long hair, his whole body. He always needs more shampoo to wash his hair.
needs detangler to get the snake out.
Yeah, the detangler and you know what shampoo means? Yeah?
Limitless.
No.
Not beyond.
No. No.
Sense.
No.
No, don't tell me.
Actually, more the unknown.
Unknown.
Shiva in his unknown nature. That is Shiva. Shiva Shambhu means Shiva not knowing himself. Shiva Shambhu. It's not the limitless or anything beyond. It's just when Shiva doesn't know himself. That's a symbol of no moon. When there is no light. That is Shiva Ratri. That is Shiva Shambhu. That's Shiva Ratri. When Shiva absolutely doesn't know himself. Then comes new moon and then the vampire starts again. Until full moon. And Shiva Ratri is that when it's really this most intense marriage with everything. When everything falls into the unknown. Even his wife comes with him. Then the unknown marriage. So, Michael.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's come soon again, 11th of November, I think. 10, 11. Shiva Ratri. Every month. It's every month. Maha Shiva Ratri.
You're talking about Amavas, the dark night.
Yeah, the Maha Shiva Ratri is in February mostly. But Shiva Ratri is every month.
I don't know.
The no moon is every month.
Yeah, the no moon is every month.
That is
I never knew that was Shivaratri.
That is Shivaratri, but the Maha Shivaratri, that's only once a year. The special.
What makes it Maha?
Yeah, as I said, even then his wife comes with him. Otherwise the wife is always watching him when he doesn't know himself. It's watching over him, that nothing happens to him. But then even the wife cannot resist the pull into the unknown. So that is like the mystic marriage of them both, like they disappear in the unknown, whatever. That's... Why do I know that?
How do you know that?
Huh?
How do you know that?
The people tell me things. Then I have always some India or someone who knows something, and they tell me, and I have this elephant brain. It comes into this storage, and then I just, okay. I don't know why I remember, but I just remember. Oh. Oh, that's why I like to sit in Bombay, because they all have experiences, some with Nisargata or some have some more. And then I'm enjoying to hear the background music, not only the window dressing, window speeches and things. But I would like the Sadhu Om's books more about Ramana than the other books from the ashram. Sadhu Om? Sadhu Om, there's this compound here. He was a disciple. He has many books, and he is... It's more the background. No, whatever. I always like to make the picture complete a bit more. Not only one side, the holy side and the things. And I like the naughty sides too. That like he was very angry every morning with his so-called workers in the kitchen. And very precise and hunting them around. It was really like a dictator. Really not peaceful. The opposite of being peaceful and calm. Huh? The ashram would not tell you that. There's no, the books in the ashrams are not for that, but you have to go for other sources. But that makes him what he is. Not like this holy whatever. Otherwise it's like always like a... Then you try to become the role model, and then you already, oh, I will never become like him. This is too much. This is... Oh, you put him on a protest and you make him high and think, no, that's the last he wanted. He is eye to eye, and eye to eye means helplessness. You are here and you cannot help it. Good. Something? No?
I do not want to be here.
You what?
I do not want to be here.
You don't want to be here?
Yeah.
Then we already two.
That is included in the statement.
Well, okay. Germany?
Uh-huh.
No?
Questions, no.
Wow, that was quick. Holland?
Yeah, sometimes I'm wondering about Arunachala walking around when it is full moon, because I have heard people talk about energy harvest connected with the full moon. So now I'm paranoid about, maybe we are getting energy sucked off when we are walking around.
I think Arunachala, that's a full moon. In full moon, the people run around, otherwise maybe they drink too much and kill themselves. Because full moon is always the time when people drink more and they get crazy and things. So if you keep all the people running around, it's maybe better than finding them in the pub and getting drunk and aggressive. I always find a good explanation why things happen. No, because full moon, walking around, you see, because before there was no street lights. That's why it's full moon production. Because full moon, you have light to walk. And in no moon, it's very dangerous with snake and with wasp. So it's always a very practical reason why people do things. You don't have to make it mystical. It's very practical. But then full moon is a more auspicious time. No, it's just more light to walk.